Yo, so I'm just out of an interview with a media company startup, and the whole gig that I was applying for was being like a host for this sort of street interview style account that they're going to they're wanting to do. And when I answered the ad that was placed on Insta, it basically said it was like Invades meets current affairs and culture. And if you don't know what Invades is like a media company that goes to different horse racing events and kind of like sets up student events at like horse racing events down in England. And I love their account. Like, I love their channel. I think it's great. I love watching their little interviews. They're very pleasant, very bite-sized, very fun. And they're just asking people, like the attendees there, like, where'd they get their outfit from? Where'd they, how long did it take to get ready? What do they study if they're students? What's a red flag at the races? And just other dumb shit like that. And it's just nice, fun, pleasant, and everybody likes it. There's nothing controversial about it. And that's the one thing I wouldn't want to do. Like a controversial, clickbaity rage bait sort of account or any sort of channel. Because it's just not me. I'll get into why not later. But when I went on to this interview with the guy who starts it up, the first thing he talks about is we want to be controversial. We want to do like content that gets clicks and all that. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And even worse is that he wanted to be a political channel. So basically the whole pitch was you go up to people on the streets of Edinburgh, which is the capital of Scotland where like I'm at, and you go up and ask them questions like, do you like Donald Trump? What do you think about this policy? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about Israel and Palestine? What do you think of abortion? And it's like, I can't think of anything worse to do online. Like of all the things that you can do online, like why are you doing like a media gig that's based on this? Like, there's so many reasons why I wouldn't want to do that type of job. First one is it's so negative. Like, it's such a negative sort of gig. Like, to ask people inflammatory, like, it's going to be a divisive opinion, and this person's just trying to enjoy their day out in the capital city, and then you're coming up to them, talking to them about Donald Trump and that, or like other controversial shit. I can't think of anything worse happened to me in the street. Or like, imagine like American tourists, they're enjoying their holiday, like going around Edinburgh and that and sightseeing, and then you're trying to talk to them about their version of domestic policy. Like, what do you think about Donald Trump's like views on this and all that? It's like, fuck, they're just, of all the things to ask those people, you're asking them shit like that. So, another thing about it is, it's like, it's just like, my idea was going to be, okay, cast a wide net and build a strong, stable media company that's going to have a long-term duration and long-term lifespan. Whereas his idea of it was going to be get the numbers up as high as possible, as quickly as possible, and then sell it. And I'm not gonna fucking knock the guy for it, but it just isn't me. And I was thinking, even during the interview, I was like, could I realistically go up to people? Like, if I land in Edinburgh, get off a train at Waverley Station, could I enthusiastically go up to people and ask them shit like that? And the answer was no. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So we did go back and forth about what my ideas were, and I was just wanting to do like pleasant conversation, like simple, pleasant conversations with people in Edinburgh. Like, just take American tourists by Edinburgh Castle. Like, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? Okay, Arizona. What's the biggest difference between Edinburgh and where you're at right now? How long are you going to be here for? What do you want to do? Like, what's the number one thing you're looking forward to before you landed in Edinburgh? What would you recommend to other tourists before they come here? Like, just things like that. And to me, that's like so, like, that gets way more general interest, I think, right? And it's just nice. Like, why wouldn't you want to turn up and do that as your job? That appeals to so many people. If we were doing stuff like that, like just starting off with tourism stuff and like Edinburgh specific local stuff, the avenues on it are tourism. It's like beauty and aesthetics, because one thing that I thought that was a good idea is going to people in Edinburgh and being like, what's the most beautiful building in Edinburgh, do you think? And they'd say one, and then I'd be like, you know, like showing, and then the person who'd be filming would be able to indulge like the beauty filmography, and like do like nice close-ups at 5 o'clock in the morning when there's no one in the streets of the building. And so you get tourism, you get that, and you can even do things like, hey, so you're here, so you've been in Edinburgh for a week, where's the best place you had lunch at? And then they would say like a place they got lunch, right? And then you could go to that place and interview the owner of it, or even be like, what's the number one thing that gets ordered at your like cafe? Like stuff like that. To me, that makes sense. To me, that's such a better idea than going up to people and asking them shit about politics. I kind of feel like another reason why I don't want to do it is politics to me is like 10 years old now, minimum. Like, talk about this thing called the golden age of political engagement. That's when I was a teenager, like 15, 16, starts with like, technically 14, with the Scottish referendum campaign, then we had Brexit, then we had Donald Trump, then we had like Jeremy Corbyn, Theresa May, then we had lockdowns, then we had Joe Biden, Donald Trump, then we had Greta Thunberg, then we had BLM, then we had Greta Thunberg and the Green Movement and that Extinction Rebellion stuff. Like that 10-year period was the most chock full, engaging time to be alive. There was so much change in politics. It was new, it was fresh, it was just so different. And but it didn't go anywhere. Like Donald Trump, nothing happened with him. People were thinking he was going to reform American society, have it totally different. That didn't happen. Same with Brexit, same with Scottish independence and the Scottish referendum campaign. Same with BLM and all that, like abolishing the police and like having like the second Black People's Civil Rights Movement, and Greta Thunberg and Extinction Rebellion with the Green Movement and ushering in the renewables and all that type of shit. It didn't go anywhere. So it doesn't matter if you're right wing or left wing. There's no reason to engage with a system. It just shows you that it doesn't matter how left wing or right wing you are, nothing's going to change. So it instantly turned me off because it feels like I'm wasting my time. Like what a tourist has to think about Edinburgh is, or anybody, normal person in the street, is like 1,000% more interested than this random talking point. Like in the interview, I said like, okay, what kind of questions do you want me to ask then? And he was like, if he mentioned some like random ugly old boomer politician, I don't even know, can't even remember his name, getting this position in Parliament, who gives a fuck about that? Who honestly gives a fuck about any of that? You know? Same thing about like abortion and that. Like people have been having the same conversations in politics for like at least 20 years. Same with immigration. Immigration is too high. Fuck. Like we these are the conversations that we've been having since like, at least in the UK, since like the 70s, but especially like online since like Brexit time, you know? We're tired, we're bored of it, it's old hat, like move on. So that's the reason why I don't want to do it. And I also feel like he wanted to be controversial, and controversial online basically means that you bully people. A good example, it was Pride, like gay Pride, on Saturday just there. So if I was working for them, it would be like going up to the like random gay people on the street. So if I was working for them, like it was just Pride, it was like gay Pride like on Saturday just there. So the equivalent would be like, if I was working for them and doing this gig, it would be like going up to like random gay people in the parades and the festivals and that and being like, hey, you got AIDS? And be like, no. Oh, you know anyone who's got AIDS? They're like, no, I don't know anyone. What country's flag is that? Like I've never seen a flag like that before. and they're like, it's the gay pride flag, like dumb shit like that. Like people, look, we've seen content like this for at least about 10 years now. Remember like the feminist cringe compilations and like feminist owned compilations from like 10 years ago? It's like that. It's like, it doesn't entertain me. Seems like just, it's so negative. Like this might be oversharing, but it's true. My gran died, and my gran was one of the most selfless people that I know, and she was always concerned about other people and the welfare of other people. She wasn't like a busybody or a Karen, but the type of thing she did was that she regularly used to go to the hospice, like the local hospice where she lived, and she would sit with people who were dying with like terminal illnesses, and just even in old age and that, on palliative care, and she would spend time with them. Then barely knew these people, but would do it. And she was just someone who... she's someone who showed me that you can either spread positivity, spread love, spread warmth in the world, or you can spread negativity. And I'd rather make her proud and spread positivity. So I want to do something that I could happily talk about. And if I'd be ashamed at making someone feel small in public. That's another thing. The people who are right-wing and that always talk about a lack of community, but then these people who are right-wing go and do these street interviews doing rage bait and making people feel small and insignificant, asking them, really being a cunt towards them, asking them dumb questions, and just putting them down in sly ways. I could never do that to anybody. So, yeah. Another reason why I didn't want to do it is it's really, really important to me to do things that I want to do. I don't want to be seen as like a pushy, rage baity person who's super political, because I'm not that type of person. And if I was doing it for just, that was my new gig to do for my job, if I was on Tinder trying to get like a man in my life and get like a husband and a boyfriend, they would be like, oh, people would see my Tinder profile, my Grindr profile, and be like, oh, he's the guy who asks them political questions. No, I'm staying clear of him. I've got to be me. And it's a shame, because I always feel like I've done a student society, because he was a student, the guy who was interviewing me, and I was just saying you cast a wide net and do all sorts of content and just see what sticks and see what you do well with. And we could have been doing all sorts of interviews. We could have been going up to shops, street vendors, doing different events and exhibitions in Edinburgh, just having fun, having a laid back attitude to our content, and just making sure we got videos out there, interviewing people, of anything. Just every day we could be like, hey, what do you want to do? Just walk in the streets and start interviewing people about anything. But I guess he doesn't want to do that. So yeah, I don't think I'm too fussy. I think everything I said right there was fair enough. I think so. I don't think I said anything that was unreasonable. Anyway, at the end of it, I said, if you ever want to do a change of content, you want to revise your content strategy, or just say it becomes quite big, which I hope it does. You know, I hope he does well at this media company he wants to start up. If he gets quite big from doing the political stuff, the rage-based stuff, and he wants to branch out into other areas and do more like pleasant, softer, non-controversial content, and I said, hit me up, like I'm right here. And I sent the email reinforcing that after. I just basically said it's unfortunate we didn't see eye to eye on the nature of the content he wanted to produce, but I'm always here and I'm available to do, you know, I just listed off stuff. But yeah, that's it. Job searching continues. I'm going to grow my hair out to a mullet, by the way, so I'm letting it grow out, and then next month I'll get it cut and bleached. And I've got a polo being bleached as well, and I've been holding this up the whole time. This is Burt's Bees. I like the honey one. It's quite hard to get. You need to get it like a Holland and Barrett. They don't have it like in random stores. So it's nice though. It's like, because it's like a bee branded one, you kind of think it would always be like Honey's or standard, but it's not. But yeah, nice chatting to you guys. See ya.